Well, here we are on the farm, the second round of the NCAA tournament. LMU and Stanford just about set. Here inside Maples Pavilion, let's take a look at the starting lineups as Stanford is making their 38th straight NCAA tournament appearance. And for LMU, Sarah Kovac, who we talked about in the opening, Savannah Slattery, Bo Chulo, Teague, Johnson, Reed, and Whitford. Besides Kovac, Rich, who else is going to need to have an awesome night for LMU?
Well, I think Bo Chulo has got to get her kills and make some difference at the net with her. But also, they just need to pass and stay in system. Now,
Kevin Hambley in his second season at the helm secured the conference title last year. Pac-12 champions this year. Well, the Swiss Army knife of weapons, Plummer, McClure, Campbell, Tammy Alade, Formico, Gray, and Hens. Well, Hambley's got to be proud of this team, right, Coach?
Yeah, they've started out strong in the beginning of the year, and they've just kept it going all the way through. One little glitch early on. That's long forgotten now. It's tournament time.
Yes, that glitch was the solo loss to #1 BYU, who LMU knocked off in straight sets to finish the season.
That makes for an interesting matchup, doesn't it?
And Formico gets us set. We are underway in Stanford, California. Drills a shot right at Plummer. LMU strikes first.
Great in-system pass, fast pin set. Really nice swing by Slattery to get that down.
Savannah Slattery, the 5'11" outside hitter, junior from Malibu. Here's Reed. Set to the outside, McClure with a self-touch. Reed setting outside. That's Kovac. Nice dig on the floor. McClure back row. Gray setting the middle to Plummer. Nice soft touch by Campbell. McClure off the net cord. Back set from the pin, blocked out.
We're going to have to start counting rallies pretty soon here. That was a lot of defensive plays on both sides.
That was pretty cool. Second point of the match. Stuffed up by the sophomore Megan McClure, who's having an incredible season. Big night last night as well. Sends McClure back to the line. And a Rancho Santa Margarita. A little confusion on LMU's side. Able to bump it over. A slam down. Nice job by Jenna Gray.
Jenna Gray was really aware of what was going on the LMU side. LMU was scrambling for that ball and a little out of position. She saw the opening, put it home.
Jenna Gray just got awarded the Center of the Year award. It was the Pac-12 Center of the Year last season. McClure into the net. Side out Stanford. Stanford right now leading the all-time matchups between these two schools, 3-1. Now back on the service line is LMU. 2-2. Gray sets outside. Plummer just misses the back line by an inch.
Stanford players are calling for a touch, and Coach Hambley is pulling out the green card right away.
There it is. First challenge tonight for either team. Let's take another look at this.
What we got to find out is, did Hambley challenge the touch at the net or the ball in or out?
I think he's challenging LMU that left hand up front.
Touch at the net. Yep. Ball was clearly out.
Hambley challenging the touch at the net. Second year as head coach, 8 years at Illinois. Was one of the best blockers in the nation when he played back in his day at BYU. Here's a good net cam look. Man, it's always tough to call, right?
It's so hard to see. And it could be a fingernail. It's counted as a touch, but nothing may move. So you got to see some movement in the fingers.
On refs tonight, Brig Beatty and Kylie Kimura. So here's another look at this.
I think maybe there was a fingernail, yeah.
Fingertips, partner.
Great job. on that slow-mo action there.
Both teams will have 3 challenges. Win or lose, you'll receive 3. And of course, if we go to a deciding 5th set, each team will get an additional challenge.
I've never understood why they don't just say 1 for each additional set after 3.
Or if you win the challenge, you should keep your challenge.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Because it should have been correct in the beginning, right?
I think so. Taking their time with this call. They want to get it right.
Well, and you know how important this match is. If you're going to challenge it 3-2, this is a big match for everybody.
So the call is going to stand, and that ball is going to be called long. Point goes to LMU. Here's Hambley. Doesn't like that, but carry on we shall. Ella Boley, the freshman, back to serve out of Westchester, California. 3-2 LMU. Opening frame of action. Down the line to McClure. Gray far set to Plummer, and they get it right back to Catherine Plummer and have her take care of it. How important was that to get it right back to the player of the year?
I think that's really important so that she gets some confidence going into the next swing. That time she hit it cross court, lower to the net. She was making sure it was in, aimed it right at a defensive player who couldn't handle the heat.
Sydney Wilson, the Canadian. Low set to the middle, off of the fingertips of Alade.
I think we're going to see a lot of that gap set. I call it a gap set because it goes between the middle blocker and the right side blocker, tries to split the seam a little bit. LMU runs the gap a lot. And
they run a very up-tempo offense, don't they?
Very, very fast offense. It's hard to tell the difference between their gap and their go set to the outside.
Here's the senior, Kai Whitford. And hands a free point to the Cardinal on the service error.
We may see a few service errors tonight on LMU's side. They need to serve tough. Coach Mansfield said that's part of their game. They got to do it. So we'll see a few risky serves, I'm sure.
He is totally content with the service errors as long as they're staying aggressive. Jenna Gray, setter of the year. Sent to the outside, blocked down, just wide of the line.
That's another one of those fast pin sets. It barely gets above the height of the antenna on the way out to the pin.
That was Bo Chulo with the kill. Now here's the dangerous Kovac, Sarah Kovac, and dials up a service ace for the Lions.
That was a drop ball going deep into the corner, and with the float on it, it just took a little air current and dropped straight down when it lost its air.
6-4 LMU. Cross-court serve this time for Kovac. Gray sets up Plummer on the outside pin, and Plummer plums it down.
You know, I love watching Catherine Plummer play. When she gets a little more animated, she really hits it just that extra little bit, and there's no one that's going to dig that ball coming at that speed.
Leading the team in kills, second in service aces on the year. Jack of all trades, Catherine Plummer. Here's Tess Reed to Kovac. Trying to get it over the scorer's table, and McClure does. Reed with the dump, saved by Alade. No one there to help out.
Great sequence of plays by the LMU side. That was a back row red to Kovac. She hit it with enough heat that Stanford couldn't control the overpass. This is the back row red. Very fast offense, even to the back row at Kovac. Great save by Stanford, though.
McClure gets the touch. McClure only a sophomore and showing some big numbers this season already. 279 kills coming into this match tonight.
Yeah, she's attacked the ball 715 times on the year. That's a couple seasons for a lot of players.
Here's Morgan Hent serving. To the outside, Slattery.
Fast tempo again against the blockers. Blockers aren't quite set. Hands aren't in a good position. Hitter can tool the hands that are still moving to try to block.
Savannah Slattery and Kovac will be the two key figures for this LMU offense. Slattery second in kills behind Sarah Kovac. 8-6 LMU. Good serve to McClure. Gray outside. Trying to go down the line, missing the mark.
Just a little miss by Fitzmaurice on that. She was trying to go down the line, just missed it a little bit. And this is Teague serving this hybrid serve that goes with a lot of velocity. It's a jump float with a little bit of spin.
The hybrid serve, right?
Yep.
And puts that one away with ease, Adriana Fitzmaurice.
You know what I love on that play is Jenna Gray went right back to her hitter who had just made the mistake, gives her another opportunity. It's a perfect set. Fitzmaurice goes cross court this time, gets the kill.
And you saw Stanford did that with Catherine Plummer as well. That's the best way to recover. Reed out of the middle, blocked down. And that time taken care of by Holly Campbell, the freshman out of Austin, Texas. Someone they're very excited about. Second on the team right now and blocks behind Alade. Here's Kate Formico. Outside, blocked down. Reed sends it back to Slattery. McClure with the arm. Overpass. Megan McClure.
We talked about the many talents of Catherine Plummer. That was a full-out, laid-out pancake dig to save that very, very short tip. So Stanford got another opportunity.
Kate Formico into the net. Well, we saw last night Stanford starters getting a little bit of a break. And they played Alabama State tonight, the starting rotation. So
I think they're going to be fresh. You know, I think that was a good move by Coach Hambley. Give some other players a chance, give the rest to some starters. This is a long tournament season.
Megan McClure using the hands of Emma Johnson. Picks up the kill, not at a 10.
Great set by Jenna Gray to isolate the blockers. They were split a little bit, and McClure was able to sneak it in between them.
And how about this LMU holding their own here in the opening frame against the #1 seeded team in the nation?
I love the action in here, the spirit. There's a great loopy gap set.
Great spear by Emma Johnson, yeah.
So Johnson, number 4 on LMU, hits more of a fast tempo gap set. That didn't have that loop on it that I just said. That's a little zero tempo set. It's very fast and hard to defend.
Here's the freshman, Ella Boley. Good serve from Boley. Outside, Catherine Plummer finding the back row target of Tess Reed.
I just call that high heat.
Call that the laser. Tied at 11. Here's the Canadian Sydney Wilson. Reed outside, Kovac handles it. Here's the deadly Sarah Kovac.
I'll tell you what, Tess Reed put that ball on the money. She's running forward, back sets over her back, puts Kovac in a great place to hit down the line with no block in the way.
Sarah Kovac studying economics at LMU, one of the top amateur players in Canada. 12-11 Lions. Joust at the net. Flying in is Tammy Alade in her senior season.
Jenna Gray had to go high to save that ball. I thought that ball was coming over, but she reached up, she got it before it cost the net, and was able to save it for Alade. Great save.
Back at 12 apiece. Here's Jenna Gray. Reed to Kovac. Over the double block. Double touch by the Cardinal. 3-point for LMU.
Now that was a net called on Catherine Plummer. The set was tight, and I think Plummer thought she could really just reach and grab the ball, and Kovac got it before her and tipped it over, and her arms were left with nothing to touch.
Sarah Kovac on fire right now. Outside, this time Fitzmaurice sends it down on Whitford's shoelaces.
That was a set that traveled most of the distance of the width of the court. Fitzmaurice went high to hit that down.
Adriana Fitzmaurice, a volleyball prodigy at 14. She's one of the youngest invitees to the U.S. Youth National Team Camp. Off the net cord, hence to Alade, kissing the line, cross-court cut.
You know, we tend to forget with all of Stanford's big outside hitters how quick they can run a middle offense, especially with the Latte hitting that zero tempo one. It's pretty tough to defend against.
Player of the year back on the stripe. Into the net. Doesn't happen very often from Plummer. Now checking in is Savannah Slattery. And back to serve for LMU, Sierra Bartley, the sophomore from Littleton, Colorado. Had a pretty good season last year, 123 kills freshman year. Fitzmaurice down on the hard court.
Isolated one-on-one. Fitzmaurice is going to have her way with that cross-court kill.
And we'll have our first media timeout. We'll step aside. Stanford 15, LMU 14. Back in just a moment at Maples.
So we want to make sure you're covered properly.
Okay, State Farm, let's just say hypothetically that someone used Aaron's bathroom and that person lit a candle and the candle accidentally lit a towel on fire and the towel charred the wall. What would that...
Weren't you just in the bathroom?
I've never been in a bathroom. Not once.
How does that work?
Well, I meditate and I make it go away.
It smells like you burned something.
We should definitely investigate it.
Go with the one that's here to help life go right. State Farm.
Maui Jim sunglasses were born on the beaches of Hawaii, designed to respond to the bright sun and harsh glare of the islands, all while enhancing the view. After 30 years, we're still independently owned, and the free-thinking Hawaiian spirit that first inspired us is still a part of everything we do. Our Polarized Plus 2 lenses not only protect eyes from harmful rays, they also make colors more vivid and contrast crisper. Try on a pair and see for yourself. The view's better from here.
Home of the Cal Bears and the Stanford Cardinal. You're watching Pac-12 Bay Area.
Opening frame of play at Maples Pavilion, 15-14 Stanford over LMU after the media timeout. And right now, Catherine Plummer leading the Cardinal, 3 kills as we take a look at some of the results around the Pac-12 in the opening round of play. What's standing out to you, Coach?
Well, the Pac-12 is holding their own in a couple of those matches, losing a couple early ones, but I think the seeding right now is pretty right on. I tell you what, I don't know if you can feel it on your TV sets at home, but the energy in this gym right now is at a very high level. There's a lot of fast-paced volleyball action and a lot of excitement on both sides whenever something happens.
These are two extremely exciting teams. Good crowd in attendance tonight at Maples. And underway we go. Morgan Hentz. Reed outside, blocked down. Good job by Adriana Fitzmaurice.
That's a great one-on-one block by Adriana Fitzmaurice. She was all by herself there, but she was way over the net, got onto the other side, got onto LMU's side of the net to take out any kind of angle that was available.
She switched last year from middle blocker. Kevin Hamley saw her as an outside hitter. Savannah Slattery sprays that wide. 17-14 Cardinal. And we'll have another timeout following this media timeout. 17-14 Cardinal, called by Aaron Mansfield and LMU. They'll regroup. Now, Catherine Plummer leading the Cardinal. What have you seen so far from her? Let's take a look at some of those kills.
Yeah, she's just doing what she does, and she missed on her very first one on that challenge, I think, and then she got real serious about her next couple kills, put a lot of heat on the ball. They're hitting players in the back court, so it's not like she's fooling anyone with where she's trying to put the ball. They're just coming too hard and too heavy for them to dig it in control.
Two-time player of the year in her junior season here at Stanford University, looking to turn pro after being a two-time national player of the year. What does that look like going pro?
I think pretty good chance, and I'm sure that our head national team coach is looking at her for future Olympics, indoor. You know, she's a great beach player. She could probably have her choice of careers indoor or on the beach. Going pro in the indoor game probably is a good money opportunity, but also a chance to play a lot more volleyball. And either way she goes, she's going to be a winner.
And her dad is so involved with her, always out there in the parking lot tailgating. You saw him tonight, right?
Yeah, I did. He invited me to come in for a adult beverage, but I had to decline.
Yeah. send you there afterwards. Coming into this match, 451 kills for Plummer, 31 service aces. Morgan Hentz waits. Cardinal up by 3. Libero of the year. Out of the middle. Man, that was a tough cut by Meredith Teague, finding the line. Morgan Hentz was waiting for it, but found some open space.
That's a little different set for LMU to run. They run a back one with a little bit of tempo to it, a little bit loop to it, and I think it kind of caught Stanford a little off guard with the blocking.
Teague is strong server, second most service aces, second in blocks as well for LMU. Jenna Gray outside Fitzmaurice. And using the hands of Fitzmaurice, Savannah Slattery.
Slattery that time got that really fast pin set. It was a little wide of the antenna, and she just able to find Fitzmaurice's outside hand to tool it.
LMU now down by 1. Swept Duke last night in straight sets. And a service error hands Stanford at 2+ point margin. Now they play that high risk, high reward offense, coach. Hanging on with the #1 seeded team. What do you like so far?
I think whenever they're in system, they're really, really good, and they can keep up with anybody.
Back to Emma Johnson in the middle. Third time they go outside to Kovac, and that's blocked down by Megan McClure.
That was the back row attack also on the red back row to Kovac, and they were ready for it that time. And I think she was actually a little over the line.
A little bit of missed timing. Kovac able to save it. Hentz. Joust, finding some room as Jenna Gray slams it down.
I think that Jenna should patent that two-handed dump that she has, because she has that down. And that was 2 blockers up, recognizing it was an overpass. Jenna still found a way to get it past both of them.
Kate Formico with the serve. Outside, Savannah Slattery. Pancake dig by Plummer. And it's going to touch, point for LMU.
LMU is sticking with their game plan. Fast offense. Sometimes the timing isn't quite there, so she had to tip that ball, and Stanford couldn't quite get the pancake under it.
17, now 20-21. Sends the sophomore Megan McClure back to the stripe. Kevin Hamley called her one of the most improved players on this team. She's improved everything. Missed timing on the outside to Kovac.
High risk, high reward.
Yep.
McClure also hit .444 last night against Alabama State.
That's pretty good,
nice
right?
night for an outside hitter, yes.
22 serving 17. Reed outside to Kovac. Kovac pounds it to the floor.
A little better timing on that. A great pass, however, by Chulo on that one to set that up. You can see a little gap in the blockers there just because of the speed of that set to the pin. And Kovac has that fast arm, fast jump.
There's the freshman Ella Bully. Catherine Plummer winds up. Gray back to Plummer. Second time's the charm. There's the arm of Plummer.
Plummer's like a mechanic out there. She hits cross court, they dig her. She hits line, they can't.
The jack of all trades. Holly Campbell sits down. Sydney Wilson, the black belt in Taekwondo. Serving, and Bo Chulo puts it away. Chulo out of Florida State, transferred over, originally from Croatia.
You can see that ball going down the line after the last attack on the left went through the seam.
You know, LMU's libero back to serve, Kate Kai Whitford, in her final season at LMU. 19 serving 23. Gray out of the middle. Soft touch by Tammy Alade.
It's so tough to play defense against a team that hits the ball so hard and be ready for everything.
Constantly playing on your heels, and then you get the soft finesse.
Yep.
Fans on their feet at Maples Pavilion. Set points for the Stanford Cardinal. 24-19. Jenna Gray has the honors. Almost picked up the ace. Kovac on the outside, off the hands of McClure. Staves off 1 point.
Good play by Stanford to get that first ball blocked and then back onto LMU's sides, but LMU was able to run that really fast ball behind, and the Stanford blockers working overtime to try to cover both sides of the net.
Kovac service error, hands Stanford the opening set. Stanford Cardinal take it 25-20. They will switch sides. We'll head over to break back. Second set at Maples Pavilion. Stanford Cardinal capture the opening set.
You're watching Pac-12 Bay Area, home of the Cal Bears and the Stanford Cardinal. Available on Xfinity.
They said Jim Boy had no business making different tacos, so he went to the beach and started one. Suddenly, he had a lot of business making tacos, and a lot of customers that loved his taco business. So here's to minding your business and not crushing other people's dreams. Because that's how the original American taco was born. Jim Boy's. Welcome to the fold, good buddy.
Sunday, another season of Pac-12 football is in the books, and now it's time to find out who's going bowling. Inside Pac-12 Football, Bowl Selection Special, Sunday at 4 on Pac-12 Network, presented by Dr. Pepper.
We know your game. You underestimate us. Pretend we don't matter. Create excuses while we persist. We play the best. We beat the best. You see us. So when you're ready to play ball, you know where to find us. Watch on Pac-12 Networks.
This Wednesday night, Washington State looks to showcase the Crimson and Gray as they welcome Idaho to Cougar territory at 6. Then at 8, it's a Bay Area matchup as the Golden Bears tip off against San Francisco. Catch the first game live at 6 on Pac-12 Network.
Label me.
You know you want to.
Don't be shy.
You do it behind my back.
Say it to my face.
You don't know me.
You know what I am?
I'm a pitcher.
I'm a striker.
I'm a point guard.
I'm a linebacker.
I'm a setter. Shortstop.
High jumper. Wrestler.
Defender.
Goalie.
Student.
Student athletes.
That's who we are.
Second round of the NCAA tournament, and Stanford captures the opening set against LMU, 25-20. And we're about to start set number 2 as we check out Megan McClure. And some of these Stanford student athletes, just one of several Pac-12 all-academic first-team selections.
That is really quite an accomplishment when you look at that list. The grade point average they're getting, the year in school, the schools they're at.
Right.
Being a student athlete in the sport of volleyball is one of the toughest because whenever you get to tournament time, you're also in finals time.
Right.
And all these athletes are involved in finals right now as we go forward.
Right. The student part before the athlete, the student athlete, and just so impressive. I mean, a 4.0 while you're playing for a top school, and some of these student athletes are playing in the tournament. They're taking proxy exams in the hotel rooms, in the conference rooms, while trying to prepare for a huge tournament like this.
It can be a huge distraction, especially if you're not used to doing that and you're not used to having to travel when you're playing beyond the end of the season. So Stanford's pretty accomplished at that. They've been to a lot of tournaments, as we know. Hosting is a big thing for Stanford. They at least get to take those exams and study while they're at home.
And sleep in their own bed.
Exactly.
And Kevin Hamley said one of the most challenging things, because I asked him, what's what's the hardest part about coaching the Stanford Cardinal? He said, well, keeping them constantly engaged. He says he'll give them books. He'll give them all kinds of stuff to keep them engaged in something. They will constantly want to learn more and get better.
And I think that pervades throughout women's volleyball. It's a great sport. Very engaged athletes.
And there's Catherine Plummer putting down the kill to start us off in set number 2.
Stanford making lemonade out of lemons here. A bad pass, a bump set, back row to Plummer, who takes care of it.
Here's Megan McClure off the net cord. Sent to the outside. Kovac trying to cut it in front of Plummer. Clips it into the net.
Looking back. We're a set point.
All eyes tonight on Stanford, trying to continue their postseason, trying to capture a record 8th national title. Right now they have 7 tied up with Penn State. Here's Kovac again into the double block. Outside pin this time. Penn saves it. Plummer winds up and delivers back row.
Great communication there between Hens and Plummer. That ball was in Plummer's area there, but she knew and trusted that Hens would come over, give her the bump set, and she got out of the way and put herself in a position to hit that ball. Look at that communication and the swing.
3-0 Cardinal. Reed middle. Johnson can't get it up.
That was a pretty long gap set that Reed put in to Johnson's hands.
Here's the Westchester native, Ella Boley, serving 1-3. Hens setting up Plummer. Plummer sees the double block, goes back row. Whitford able to push it over. Jenna Gray outside. Holly Campbell on the slide.
That's only the 3rd swing for Holly Campbell tonight. Perfectly executed slide, 1 step behind the setter, sharp cross court.
Kevin Hambley thinks Holly Campbell is one of the most underrated impact players on this team. Wilson serving 4-1. Good job using the block. That's Bo Chulo.
You know, back to Holly Campbell being underrated. It's pretty tough with the squad you see out here with Stanford.
Right.
There's a lot of kudos to go around.
You got National Player of the Year, Libero of the Year, Coach of the Year. Kevin Hambley just picked that up in his 2nd season. Whitford into the net. Side out for LMU.
You know, LMU really needs to keep serving aggressively, as we talked about earlier. The middle of the net serve is a no bueno for me. I want them to serve tough, but I want Stanford to have to play the ball somehow.
Big block by Tammy Alade, leading the country in blocks per set. Takes care of that one. Now, is it kind of like tennis when you're serving, you want to aim for about 6 inches above the net?
Yeah, you know, different kinds of serve do different things. With the float serve, we used to put a piece of elastic between the antennas and try to make them serve under the elastic above the net. Anything as hard as they could and keep it in.
Whitford pops it up to Kovac. Plummer in on the block with Alade and escapes. Kovac able to zip it through.
And LMU is out of system a little more than they'd like to be, and these are higher sets than they want. So I'm impressed that Kovac can beat that kind of block with Plummer and Alade.
Now here's Kovac to serve, 3-6. Alade out of the middle. Outside is Bartley. She gets roofed in by Alade.
I got to say, there were 2 plays there that were impressive. The one-arm dig by Ellie Boley, and then the slam dunk back down by Alade on the tip attempt.
Catherine Plummer serving 7-3. Kovac firing in and fires long. And that's what she's going to need to do. She's going to need to step up and make some of those high-risk plays for LMU to have a chance tonight. And they're keeping it close, Rich.
They are keeping it close. They just need to stay aggressive with the serve and make a few more in and get their passes in system so they can run that system.
I'm Tara Vanderveer, women's basketball coach at Stanford University. And you're watching Pac-12 Bay Area.
My name is Lily Serafin, and I'm the CEO of Home Care Systems. We're the largest consumer health company providing aging services, which means that we deploy innovative products and services to the home to help older adults live safely and independently in the comfort of home. My path to success really started with my experience as a Stanford student. I had the opportunity to reimagine the world around me, which I think is very representative of Stanford. That whole idea that you don't just have to create a path on pathways that have already been established. You can really make your own mark in the world, including creating entirely new markets and industries. I think that my Stanford experience in all of those ways has really influenced who I've become. My name is Lily Serafin. I'm a proud graduate of Stanford's class of 2003. Go Card.
2 service errors for the Utes, 2 for BYU as well in the match.
You're watching Pac-12 Bay Area.
Mary Lake will serve.
Well, LMU finished 5th in the West Coast Conference. They ranked top 16 in hitting, assist kills, and aces. But right now, Rich, they are struggling in hitting -100 in the second set.
Yeah, it sounds cliche, but it's all about the passing. They've got to get their setter, Tess Reed, in system, which means inside that half circle at the net so that she can run that fast offense and they can be effective.
Catherine Plummer gets us going, dancing off the net cord in front of Fitzmaurice.
So on that, Kovac is in the back row right now. So they have 2 hitters in the front row. When they're out of system, they are really limited. Kovac got a little bit lucky there, but I'm sure they'll take that anytime they can get it.
Sends the Croatian back to the line, Bo Chulo. Cardinal up by 4, second set, Fitzmaurice from the outside pin.
Big power, nice back set again by Jenna Gray. Put that on the money. Think about how many sports are there where you blindly put a ball somewhere within about a 1-2 foot sphere. That's what volleyball is all about, the setter back setting like that. They can't see what they're setting at. It's all feel.
Reed with a quick set to Slattery. McClure gets blocked in. Nice save by Hentz. Outside of McClure this time, cutting it to the back row.
And so between odd couple and the double fish on the water, we have a lot.
That one escapes, point Cardinal.
Nice.
Campbell and Fitzmaurice on the outside there on that block.
Nice play on both sides on that.
Morgan Hentz. That was a good rip by Teague.
When you sit down and watch it,
Teague again.
you should be having a good day.
Jenna Gray with a low set, a little mistiming. Campbell gets it over. McClure with the soft touch. And that'll touch hardwood, point for the Cardinal.
I love the defense of Stanford right here. Plummer makes a one-arm dig, stab there, keeps that ball in play. Later in the rally, she gets an overhand dig to save it.
Plummer working like a free safety in football, surveying that back line.
You know, Stanford, we talk a lot about their size at the net, but having the size, the all-round players they have that have the size to laterally cover a lot of court is a huge advantage. You look at most teams, they'll bring in back row subs quite often for their outside hitters or their opposites. Not with Stanford. They've got size and speed in the back row that they can keep in there.
And for LMU, they run the fast tempo offense because of their size. They're a shorter team on the whole. They don't have that height as much. Is that right, Coach?
That's exactly right. It's like a wishbone offense in football, if you will. A team that's maybe not quite as big has to be a little more deceptive, a little faster. The options have to come more free flow and quicker.
Cardinal up by 7. Kate Formico playing her 101st set this season. 14 service aces coming into this match. Reed outside. Good windup and delivery by Savannah Slattery.
Slattery doesn't have the hitting percentage that you think of as a great outside hitter, but she's being really effective tonight with this speedy offense and finding holes in the block. And putting up a great block right there, almost one-on-one on that. She reached in, got good penetration over the net to stop Holly Campbell on the slide there.
There's that no-look dump by Jenna Gray.
Nice recognition. They were playing, LMU was playing a little bit deeper on defense. Jenna Gray found a big donut in the middle of the court there.
Carly Lloyd used to do that as well, right, Coach?
Carly Lloyd did it as well.
Low set to the middle. Again, Emma Johnson.
LMU is really mixing up their middle attacks. They're running 3 different attacks now. A fast gap set, a loopy gap set, and then just a high ball to the middle of the court.
LMU 8 serving 13. Free point for the Cardinal. Now, if you're LMU, what kind of adjustments are you going to make right now halfway through this second set?
I think mostly I'm going to tell my team, you're playing well. You just need to go point by point. You have to keep serving tough, but you've got to get it into the court, at least over the net, so that we can make Stanford make a play on it.
There was a rifle to McClure. That's a different move. What do you call that one, coached by Catherine Plum?
Kind of a little bit of a slam dunk.
Is it?
She was so high, she was able to put that tip over the block with some tempo on it. And she didn't hold on to it too long, so it was perfectly legal, but it was definitely a push.
Sydney Wilson. Reed, the no-look over.
That was
the set kill?
That was pretty savvy on that one, yeah. That was a set kill. She was able to stay below the height of the net because she is back row, so she can't take the ball above the height of the net. And to get a kill on that is pretty impressive.
Senior Kai Whitford out at Costa Mesa serving. 9:15. Jenna Gray to Tammy Alane trying to find that corner, sends it long.
Little timing off, a bit off the net on that set. Alane was a little bit early on it.
Aaron Mansfield, the head coach for LMU, calling Kai Whitford the server right now, one of the quiet leaders of this Lions program. Alade with that soft touch we saw earlier tonight. Roll shot, trying to find the back line, can't hit it.
Now I didn't want to make any predictions, but I had a feeling that Gray was going to go right back to Alade because Alade had just made that hitting error, and she did. And it worked out.
And now, is that something you teach as a coach, or is that something players just kind of pick up by themselves?
I think that's just one of the qualities of a good setter, really, is to trust your hitters, get them a better set, know that they can do the job the next time.
Tammy Alade blocks that out of bounds. LMU down by 5, second set. Stanford captured the opening frame 25-20. Here's Sarah Kovac. Gray, far side to Plummer. Plummer puts it down. Bit of a scramble by LMU.
Almost pinballed that over.
Around, yeah. In terms of force of players hitting it, have you seen anyone harder than Catherine Plummer's arm?
Not in this season. You know, she hits it pretty hard, and she has a couple different speeds. You can kind of see it when she puts it into high gear.
Plummer serves it. Fitzmaurice takes care of the second ball. An expected timeout from Aaron Mansfield coming up pretty soon.
Effective with this roll shot, but timing on it.
Out of the middle. Alane. Bumped over. Grace sets Alane, blocked down by number 7, Alexis Morrow. Redshirt sophomore out of Redwood City, California. Had a big season last year, led the team in blocks last year with 81 after sitting out freshman year. Comes up with a huge play there.
Coach Mansfield just trying to shake it up a little bit, make some changes, see if he can change a little bit about what's happening. Even though the score is a 6-point difference, it seems a lot closer than that. We still feel like we're in a ball game here. LMU has to just keep their game plan going.
All smiles from Aaron Mansfield there. The Croatian Bo Chulo. McClure winds up, delivers back row. Set to the outside. Now Hens teeing up Fitzmaurice, bypassing the double block and picks up the kill.
Here's one of the huge advantages of having someone 6'6" like Fitzmaurice on the outside in an out-of-system play. Hens knows she can set that ball really tight, and Fitzmaurice can beat most blocks with a tight set.
Morgan Hens serving 19-12. Out of the middle. Good save by Hens on the floor. Sends that one long. It's Savannah Slattery trying to target the corner. Stanford Cardinal dancing on the sidelines as Morgan Hens prepares to serve. And we have the awaited timeout by Aaron Mansfield and LMU.
I think this is a good time to try it, see if he can settle his team down a little bit. Again, they're not playing horrible, they just need to play their game, and it's tough. Stanford is a team like no other with their size and their athleticism. If you haven't seen that this year, it's very, very tough to deal with it, and on the court at the time making adjustments is nearly impossible when you've been practicing for one way all year long.
And interesting, Aaron Mansfield, his brother Jason was the former Stanford coach.
Longtime Stanford assistant coach here and is now up at Washington. So the Mansfield family, there's a lot of volleyball running in their blood.
Now, kind of the big separation right now, Coach, is the blocking between Stanford and LMU. 7 total blocks for the Cardinal tonight. What's working for them right now that you're seeing?
Well, again, they're got pretty good size. So sometimes they don't have to move very far, but they're also very physical. They're very good laterally moving and lining up, and they're very disciplined block. They don't have a lot of extra movement. They get their arms tight to the net. They seal the net and get into the opponent's airspace and close off the angle when they do that.
So LMU is a smaller team compared to Stanford. How, as a smaller team, do you block a taller team?
You have to be low and tight and let the attack go over you as a good form block. You don't want to let the ball go between your blocks. So at least have 4 hands in place, even if they're low. They don't go in front of you and they don't go around you.
Out of the timeout by LMU, Morgan Hens serving 20-12. Plummer surveying in the back row. Fitzmaurice on the outside pin. Reed outside. Plummer picks it up. Fitzmaurice again. Can't put it away. Good swing by Slattery. Bumped over by Campbell. Third time works for Savannah Slattery.
I don't think we could see that, but one of those digs hit the scoreboard. So it came down into Jenna Gray's hands a little faster. Campbell wasn't quite ready for that. That's why there was that miscue on that one play. And LMU took advantage of it with their fast offense on the free ball.
And coming out of the timeout, that's exactly what LMU wanted to do. Here's Meredith Teague out of Monroe, Washington. A tough serve on the back line. McClure off the hands of LMU, picks up the kill.
out-of-system pass. That's a tough serve, you're right. A little out-of-system pass. Gray is about 12 to 13 feet off the net, and she actually side-set that ball and located it so well, like we talked about in the package. McClure just had money on the set and was able to hit it well.
Here's the sophomore Kate Formico, the younger cousin of the four-time beach Olympian Carrie Walsh-Jennings. Hands a free point to the lines on the service error.
Slow down the Utes. It does successfully there. Now we'll see second Martindale back to serve.
Gray to McClure. Reed to Kovac. Kovac picks up the kill. Holly Campbell was there.
Great transition by LMU on that one, and Kovac got a great in-system red set, was able to go it in between the blockers. Campbell wasn't quite closed. That's what LMU has to keep doing.
Joust at the net. Gray gets it over. Roll shot back row. Catherine Plummer to Hens. And flying in is Megan McClure, who rifles it down.
Oh, that set by Hens from 25 feet off the net, bumps it over her head and puts it on the money for McClure. Look at this placement of that ball.
She didn't even know she was there.
That's amazing.
Utah has really experimented this season with a lot
Megan McClure serving. 22-15. A slap over by Emma Johnson out of play.
McClure's got a pretty tough serve of her own. She's kind of almost a jump float hybrid. Gets it over really fast, goes down the line a lot with it. It's tough to pass.
Mom played collegiate volleyball at Chapman. Good pickup by Hens. Gray to Plummer. And that's the combination that works so well for the Cardinal. Sends fans on their feet here at Maples Pavilion. Some set points for the Stanford Cardinal here in the second frame of action. 24-15, Megan McClure back to serve.
Utah back within 4, 21-17. She has 8 kills to lead the Utes.
McClure picks it up. Gray outside. Holly Campbell.
Nice way to finish by Stanford. A perfect dig to set up Gray to Campbell for the slide to finish the set.
Stanford Cardinal taking back-to-back sets, 25-20, 25-15. We'll take a timeout. Set number 3 when we come back to Maples.
You're watching Pac-12 Bay Area, home of the Cal Bears and the Stanford Cardinal. Available on Xfinity.
We can stop to make sure someone is okay.
Get in the way and disrupt the situation.
Get someone a cab.
Or walk them home safely.
We can change the language around rape.
We cannot be bystanders.
Taking action isn't always easy.
But
It's on us
to intervene.
because we can.
Learn more and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Inside the block. A sharp angled hit from Kerber.
The Pac-12 has mastered the dynamics of change. Year after year, our universities rank amongst the world's best. By embracing innovation, we continuously set new standards. By exploring new technologies, we consistently reach new heights. Not just keeping the pace, but setting it. Not just crossing the line, but pushing the limits. Leaders in athletics and academics, the Pac-12 expectation is always excellence. It's what makes us the Conference of Champions.
We're talking 10-8 was her
Pac-12
highest
stories,
that she has
bringing you
touched.
the most compelling and emotional stories from around the Conference of Champions. Host Kate Scott takes you behind the curtain, sitting down and covering the Pac-12 correspondence,
Yogi, fantastic stuff. Thank you.
sharing impressions of the student athletes,
Robert, if you could leave our viewers with one final message, what would yours be?
Never give up.
coaches, and personalities who drive the storylines. Pac-12 Our Stories. Watch the latest episode anytime on Pac-12 Now. Download Pac-12 Now and watch anytime.
No less. Big point for Utah right there, and they're within 3 at 23-20.
One of the keys, keep BYU out of system as much as possible. Right now, we're struggling with that
Hello again, everyone, and welcome into our San Francisco studios for this Pac-12 playlist. I'm Chris Francis. Stanford, one of 6 conference teams still alive in the NCAA tournament. If the Cardinal can take care of LMU, it'll be their 34th straight win at Maples and 28th straight overall. They're also gunning for a national championship in water polo. In the pool this afternoon against UC San Diego, #1, scoring early and often. First quarter, a little bit of a laser beam from Dylan Woodhead. That broke a 3-all tie. And then in the third quarter, Stanford was up 2 when Bennett Williams takes the pass and goes off the bounce to score. Stanford led it 8-5. And then in the fourth quarter, they really pulled away from the Tritons. Blake Parrish gets open on the break and scores. Stanford 16-7 final. They'll play for the national title Sunday at 3 p.m. All right, what bowl will the Cardinal play in? After beating Cal today, we'll have the answer for you tomorrow on a special edition of Inside Pac-12 Football. Our bowl selection specials, commercial-free, and begins at 4 p.m. Pacific right here on Pac-12 Network. Time to get you back to Maples. I'm Chris Francis. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of the match, everybody.
There are over 480,000 college athletes. Only 2% will go pro. That means over 470,000 will not get a shoe contract. No autographs, no private jets, no fan clubs, no Hall of Fame inductions. Instead, they will walk away with something much more valuable.
That's just something that happens, just like McKenna Miller. It's something you can't predict. It's just something you have to grow from, adjust.
When it starts,
they are a solid team.
you got to know who you are.
The last 6 matches of
Are you the playmaker?
Where their season was headed.
Are you the shooter?
Or they set their sights.
Are you the defender? You want the ball when the clock's running down and the game is on the line? Are you clutch?
Davis at the horn. Set point in set 2. BYU 1 point away from going up 2 sets.
Because if you want this, you need a definition. An answer.
Up top, watch out! Look at this. So long.
But nobody can do it all. You need a squad. You need a coach. You need fans. So what you got? When it starts, are you going to be ready? You got a lot of questions to answer. But we'll start with this. Who are you? Tuesday, from the Players of the Year to the All Pac-12 team. Find out who will be named the best of the West.
A nasty linebacker who always knows how to be around the ball.
Inside Pac-12 Football All Conference Awards, Tuesday at 5 on Pac-12 Network.
Stanford Cardinal up 2 sets against LMU, and a combination of Catherine Plummer, the Player of the Year's arm, and some blocks, giving them the advantage tonight, Coach.
And we kind of knew this was going to be part of the pattern. It's one thing to talk about her, and then it's one thing to get on the court with her out there and the Stanford Cardinal out there and see how impressive they can be at the net as well as their defense.
And now on the flip side, Sarah Kovac leading the charge for the Lions. 7 kills, but only hitting .095
yeah,
the second set.
She's having a tough time with the big block and some of the out-of-system balls she's had to get, but she hasn't changed her game. She's still fast. She still goes all after it. And I think if they just relax a little bit, know that they're a good team, channel a little bit of their BYU match, they're going to be in this set.
Kate Formico gets a set 3 underway. And there's Kovac striking early. Now, the team that hits the best usually wins. The higher percentage, well, 448 to 162 overall.
Yeah, that kind of tells the story. You can see the stats are pretty much dominated by
That'll be played by Durigi.
Set
to the outside from Mims and the
cross-court
kills.
Stanford has won 33 straight here at Maples Pavilion. Could make it 34 tonight with one more set on their belt buckle. Nice put away by Megan McClure.
McClure can hit the ball hard, and she showed that there. That was a pretty low set in system. Jenna Gray put it on the money again. McClure hit it a little bit more line that time, away from every defender.
Megan McClure on the cusp of around 300 kills this weekend. Came into this match with 279.
He led the way with
Reed
19
outside. Savannah Slattery.
5-set win over Colorado
Over
State.
off the scoreboard. Catherine Plummer was waiting for it.
I'm speechless.
Knocked off the scoreboard and redirected.
And they're just kind of laughing that one off. It's going to happen here. The scoreboard's a little lower sometimes than some gyms. It's going to happen.
Beautiful look inside Maples Pavilion, named after Roscoe Maples, Stanford alumni. Catherine Plummer tooling the block. 2-2, third set.
You know, I came to basketball games the first season of Maples. Yeah.
Nice.
My brother-in-law was playing on the basketball team here in the old gym, and then he was in the years that they built this and played in the new one.
Half a dozen now, and it's 22-15 in favor of the Cougars.
Tammy Alade in on the block.
I think that block hit both Jenna Gray and Tammy Alade. It pinballed back and forth a little bit and ended up on the right side of the net for them. Here we go.
Another kill for her. She's been solid all
Happened so
night.
fast.
Yeah.
Sydney Wilson,
not committed
3-2.
attacking yet tonight. She has 11 kills.
High bump set to the outside. Sarah Kovac.
And it's 23-15.
Now setting up Catherine Plummer on the outside pin. One armed up, some extra help as Kovac was flying in. Point for the Cardinal.
Just ran out of real estate here to get that ball up. They pursued it well.
Almost knocked you, Coach.
Yeah, I was ready for it.
Kill on the back line, and Tessa Grubb will add kill number 12 of the...
Here's the serving specialist, Wilson.
It is now a
roll shot by LMU. Alade out of the middle. Former coach saved that. Now Plummer on the outside. Back row, no one there.
So, Megan McClure's been taking lessons from Morgan Hentz because that was a back bump set over her shoulder. Watch this. Right to a spot you can hit the ball.
Now, does she know Catherine Plummer's right there?
Oh, yeah. She knows she's there, but I don't think she's trying to make it that perfect. She just did.
5-2 Cardinal, third set. Low set out of the middle. Alade in on the block with Gray.
Back row block, or over the net, blocking by Alade on the second contact.
LMU picks up the point.
So that's one of the weird things about volleyball. If you're blocking a third attack, you can reach over to the other player's territory and block over the net. But on a second contact, if that ball's on the completely on the other side, you can't reach over and touch it.
Give
us some more wisdom, Coach. Boley with the serve, good one. Right at the Formico, who can't handle it.
Set outside for Grubb.
Hence ended up under the bench over there, trying for that ball.
Boley, her dad played pro beach ball in the AVP. Three older sisters as well, who all played at UC Santa Barbara. Dad Mike is a volleyball coach. Catherine Plummer winds up, delivers to Boley. Test Reed, setting up Chulo, trying to find the line.
Set number 2 on a service area.
Can't locate it, point for
So
the Cardinal.
a dramatic opening set that the Cougars won.
That was a great dig by Boley on that. Plummer's really hard cross-court
strong,
attack.
scored 8 of the first 11 points. They build a big lead and kind of coast to the finish line.
Jenna Gray
as
with
they
some
take
extra
the second
bounces.
set from the Lady Volunteers, 25-18. And the Cougars here at Moore
Outside
Gymnasium
Kovac,
Alana
Alana blocked that one down. Kovac again, finds McClure. Plummer. Fitzmaurice on the slide. Out of the middle, Johnson, rejected.
Great blocking work by Stanford, going pin to pin, fast offense. LMU throws up the loopy ball, and watch Alade get over the net, sealing the net with her arms so nothing get through, taking away the angle. It's like a hockey goalie coming out of the crease a little bit. You take away the angle by reaching over the net.
Alade, the top blocker in the nation in blocks per set, 1.86. She was born in southwest Nigeria in Akure, moved to Canada when she was 3. And a dominant volleyball player for the Cardinal. LMU down by 2. McClure outside, here's Plummer. Plummer takes care of it.
Blockers just a little bit late closing that gap. Plummer overpowering, finding the seam. Too hot to handle.
Keeping it play, but even though you're keeping it play, it's not enough personal for you to run what they want.
Nice pancake dig by Morgan Hens. Plummer coming in. Kovac pushes it over. Resetting McClure on the outside, sends it down.
Morgan Hens laying out for this one, getting the spatula under that pancake. And McClure with a really fast arm on a set that's a little bit wide.
You a pancake fan? You like pancakes?
Somewhat.
Yeah.
I don't eat them very much, but I like them.
Kovac slipping it past the double block of Alade. And McClure.
Kovac took a little bit off that, put her thumb down, wrist away, hit it down the outside of the outside blocker McClure. And I think the off speed helped a little bit with the block timing.
Hence on the receive. McClure fires back row, picks up the kill.
You know, an outside hitter for a volleyball team like McClure and like Plummer, they have to clean up the trash. So if the pass isn't right on, if somebody else has to set the ball like Plummer set that one, they have to take care of it, and that's their job. McClure is doing an excellent job at this as a sophomore, really taking the lead in staying aggressive on those kinds of plays.
You usually don't see that from a sophomore, is that right?
Well, you know, obviously it does. You do now, but it's just something that you learn over years of playing volleyball, and it's something that comes on a little bit more later in your career.
Morgan Hens, her junior season, psychology major. There's a nice play by LMU. Alexis Morrow.
So we don't see that zero tempo one set. That's not the gap. That's right next to the setter's head. A zero tempo, which means she gets it as the ball is still going up. The ball doesn't start to come down in the set. And it's very hard to block if you get it right.
LMU down by 4, third set. Service error down by 5 now.
LMU is not letting up on their serving aggression, are they?
No. That's the one thing they will not compromise on.
Nope.
Here's Kate Formico. Reed middle, put down by Alexis Morrow again.
Another zero tempo. That was a back one, and that's an audible. They weren't running a back one. That's just an audible. Where the pass goes, those two players are in sync. She knows that it's have to be a back one, a zero tempo, and she's there. And the setter, Tess Reed, trusted her hitter.
Sends Meredith Teague, the sophomore from Washington, back on the line. Now here's the hybrid serve we talked about earlier. Plummer out of the middle, just missing.
That hybrid serve is causing a higher pass because it's coming so fast. So hence put the ball up a little higher. That takes you out of system a little bit. Not much, but it can have an effect.
What do you think, Coach? We're going to see it right back to Plummer. Erase that mistake quickly.
Yeah, let's see.
Teague picks up the ace.
That is a nasty serve, and I guarantee I watched this on TV the other night. It looks just as nasty here in person as it does on television.
Nasty movement to it. Came into the match with 28 aces. Cuts the lead down by 2. Off the net. Gray outside. McClure can't cut it. And an excellent save by Rich Feller on our TV monitors and knocked it over.
I still got some quicks.
You got some moves.
Yeah.
Is that volleyball? Some volleyball moves there?
Not really. Not anymore.
Here's Teague again. Kind of an inside-out serve. McClure on the outside over the double block. LMU saved that. Good pancake dig by Savannah Slattery. McClure again, this time a rifle. Overpass. Catherine Plummer with a soft touch inside the line. Kovac flying in. McClure off 2 Lions and picks up the kill. What a point. Fans like that as well.
I like that as well. Look at that one-arm stab by Plummer right to her setter. The Swiss Army knife, I like that.
Megan McClure, such an arm for a sophomore. Good serve there too. Miss hit by Savannah Slattery.
Tough serve. Reed has to bump set the ball. It's higher than they want. McClure has that line served down.
Plummer with the soft touch. So no timeouts here in the third set. The Stanford Cardinal working their way through the Lions, up 15-11 third set. Back in just a moment here at Maples Pavilion.
Now let's have one more.
Two?
Make that two more plans.
Sweetie?
Let us help with your plan.
We can do that. Sounds like a plan.
Start a plan that flexes with yours. New York Life.
Sunday, another season of Pac-12 football is in the books, and now it's time to find out who's going bowling. Inside Pac-12 Football, Bowl Selection Special, Sunday at 4 on Pac-12 Network, presented by Dr. Pepper.
They need more space.
Is your mom in there?
Since Nana's moved in plan.
Nope.
Let us help with your plan.
Yeah, we can do that.
Well, that sounds like a plan.
Start a plan that flexes with yours. New York Life.
Home of the Cal Bears
I'm just going to retire.
and the Stanford Cardinal. And you're watching Pac-12 Bay Area.
15-11 third set. The Stanford Cardinal handling the Lions of LMU thus far. Now, Coach, you've taken Cal 12 times the NCAA tournament. You've seen your fair share of setters. What makes a good setter?
Well, a couple things, a lot of things really, but the basic thing is you have to have someone that's physically strong and quick. They have to be able to endure, they have to be able to run around the court, chase down passes. They also have to have a good understanding of the game and the coach's game plan, and even have a part of a say in that game plan. Most important, I think, is they have to be able to absorb blame to give their hitters confidence. Even if they put up a perfect set, they have to be willing to go to the hitter and say, I'll get you a better one. And then delivering the ball to the location at the speed that your offense dictates it is the final most important key to being a great setter.
And Stanford has certainly done that. One of their players, Jenna Gray, is the 2018 Center of the Year. Nice dump by LMU out of the media timeout.
I think we have two really high-quality setters here in Tess Reed and Jenna Gray. They're both running their team. They run the 5-1 offense, which means they control every bit of the offense as it comes to them, and they both do a really good job.
Stanford right now hitting .350 to LMU's .050. But LMU is keeping this tight.
They are, and you know, they're serving tough when they can, and it's causing problems a little bit for Stanford. But Stanford, on their side, is serving really, really tough, and it's making it hard for LMU to run their offense because they're not passing like they'd like to pass. They passed over 3.0 last night on a 4-point scale, which is outstanding, and I don't think they're coming close to that tonight.
Kevin Handley using his tablet. He doesn't like idle hands when he coaches. He has the stats running through.
I used to always hang onto a clipboard, but I think it was just to keep me from getting nervous.
Helps to have something. Deflected off of a latte. Plummer wasn't ready for it. Good kill by Kovac.
You know, I love that Kovac is just staying engaged here, as Coach Mansfield talked about. She's arguably not having the best match of her life, but she's still aggressive. She's still going after it, and they don't have any look of being defeated right now. They're still working their game.
Absolutely. Plummer outside, kisses the line this time.
There's no defense of that ball. That was high over the block, onto the back line with velocity.
Sends Jenna Gray back to the line. Gray also was the runner-up in javelin. Works out with the track and field team as Tammy Alade blocks that down. Point for the Cardinal.
Stanford's really starting to get the timing of the offense that LMU has thrown at him. That was another red set, the back quick set. Alade is just all over it. She's closed it. She's got her arms over the net, sealing it, and putting it down.
Kovac, Plummer, handles Kovac.
I like that Reed went back to Kovac on that, and she got a one-on-one. But unfortunately, the ball was maybe a little bit too tight. Kovac didn't think she could hit it, and Plummer's not easy to tip over.
She can do it all, Catherine Plummer. And Kovac trying to do it all for LMU. And when you look at the block leaders, you know, Tammy Alade leading the nation in blocks per set, but Stanford as a collective whole leading everyone else.
I'll tell you what, that's really something to brag about, because not only are they the leader in the nation, but the Pac-12 is such a tough conference with a lot of big-time hitters in it. A lot of All-Americans we'll see soon. That to lead the nation in blocks, playing 18 matches in this conference is an accomplishment.
And now if you're LMU, time to get a little worried here, right, Coach? What are you going to talk to your team about right now if you're Aaron Mansfield?
You know, you're kind of out of brilliant words, right, at this point, and you just got to let them know they're playing still because they love the game. They have played great matches against great teams all year long. It's time to just settle down, make every point count, play this till the end, play as hard as you can until the end of the match.
Winner of tonight's match will play either Tennessee or Washington State in the next round. Washington State right now up 2 sets over Tennessee. Playing to 25. 19-13, third set, Jenna Gray. Reed outside. Chulo sprays it wide.
Just a little bit wide on that. They got everything they wanted. They had the pass, they had the in system, they had a good pin set. Just missed it a little bit.
Out of the middle attacking, Emma Johnson can't find that back line.
So we talked about McClure having this great line serve. She's serving Bo Chulo every single time. Bo is the outside hitter, so she's trying to take her out of having an offensive option by serving her, making her work a little bit harder, making her think about her passing and not her hitting so much. And McClure is so good at serving that line. She's spot on serving number 6 on LMU every single time.
So that previous play now under review of our second challenge right now. LMU challenging that last call. And a good time to challenge, right, Coach? I mean, use it as a timeout regardless.
Why not? Yeah, if there's something that you can challenge, now's a good time. Slow it down a little bit. Maybe make an adjustment in the serve receive, or talk to his players about what they need to do next, what they need to concentrate on to get this next play. But you can see Coach Mansfield's very loose. He's very relaxed. That is translated to the team as well. The team feels the coach's anxiety if they feel it, and they feel his calmness if they have that.
Now, is that kind of like a fake calmness? Because, well, you're here in the tournament, you're down 2 sets, 21-13.
You know, he's playing the number 1 team in the country at their home. So there's only so much that he can do at this point. And showing any anxiety, or even having any anxiety, doesn't do anybody any good.
I think that almost sets you as an even higher coach to be able to have a smile during this time, and that call reverse. So that positivity working to LMU's advantage.
There you go. The joy of coaching. Coaches can't score very many points in their lifetime. That's one way they might be able to.
He's happy about that.
It's the little victories.
So LMU keeps the ball. 14 serving 20 here in the third. Plummer winding up from the outside. Hits the shoulder of Boley.
Great players make everything look easy. Catherine Plummer has worked very hard to be this good, but when you watch her play, it just doesn't seem like she's putting in that much effort to do the things she does.
If she's not on the court, she's constantly watching the men's national team on a tablet, trying to get better. There's some great videos online of a day in the life of Catherine Plummer, and it's pretty ridiculous just the amount of stuff that she goes through.
I have no doubt.
Good put down by McClure. 22-15 Cardinal.
It was a great pass by Catherine Plummer to start that off, and then Jenna Gray did a big jump set and had Alade fake in the middle and got a one-on-one situation for McClure on the outside.
Morgan Hentz with the serve. Outside, Chulo puts it away.
Finds a little teeny seam in the block and managed to get that onto the sideline for a kill, and she needed that. I think she enjoyed getting that one down.
High fives all around as Sierra Bartley, the sophomore from Colorado, serves. Fitzmaurice on the outside, blocked by Slattery. They go again to Fitzmaurice, works it way past one of the blockers. A little scramble on LMU's side. Outside McClure pulls it back. Kovac on the outside, gets a touch and picks up the kill. Great extra effort by LMU on that point.
I've seen Bartley serve short on occasion. We'll see if she tries to disrupt Stanford's offense by doing something a little different here.
Bartley with the float serve. Hence into save. Plummer with a rocket out of the middle. Slattery saved that near our table. And this time Fitzmaurice weaves it through.
So many offensive weapons for Stanford.
Absolutely. You can't just slow one thing down. You have to slow it all down. Only BYU has been able to do that this season. The sole loss on Stanford's record this year. Off the hands of Slattery, and it's match point Stanford Cardinal.
Two incredible digs on that one play there.
24-17 third set. Adriana Fitzmaurice for the match. This could be it. Service ace seals up the match. 25-17 in the third. The Stanford Cardinals sweep the lines of LMU. 30-1 on the season. They win their 34th straight here at Maples Pavilion.
That's a great record, and they're going to feel really good going into next weekend hosting regionals right here at Maples.
Now they're either going to play Tennessee or Washington State. That match being decided right now.
Wouldn't that be fun to have a Pac-12 regional
absolutely.
matchup?
Sign me up.
I love it.
LMU will fall to 21-10 on the season. The Stanford Cardinal now 30-1 overall. They were perfect in the Pac-12 conference, 20-0. And they sweep the lines of LMU. They are moving on, waiting to see who the winner is of Tennessee or Washington State. So there you have it for Rich Feller. I'm Ted Emberg. Our director and producer today, Mark Wolfson, saying so long from the Stanford Cardinal Arena here at Maples Pavilion. The #1 seeded team, the Stanford Cardinals, sweeping up Loyola Marymount. They improved to 30-1 overall. Straight sets victory for the Card tonight. They're excited.
I've enjoyed